Did the play live up to the hype?
I really liked how it intertwined all the storylines.
I hated it. It's literally the worst episode I've ever watched of Euphoria.
When you fall in love, they say you got so much natural chemicals that burst and you're pretty much high off of that love.
What did they do to her lips? Did she get she's sucking on a cup before the scene?
I saw an article recently that she's like pretty surprised at all the hate that she's getting because she's like, I don't know, everyone that I'm around, my family, no one thinks it's weird.
Her friends and family, they ain't gonna tell her what.
I'm just gonna say it. This is the blackest that I ever felt her mom has been. Like that conversation was a really black mama conversation.
If they take this, I'm going on the show. Like, you can have Nate. Who's gonna miss him? Like when Betty White passed, that thing hurt my feelings. And you be like, no, Father, I said take such and such, not her. You know, I was even telling him to take Queen Elizabeth. Take Father, just leave Betty.
Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, William Yelton, and today we will be talking with 6 strangers who have just finished watching Season 2, Episode 7 of Euphoria for the first time. Tonight, we hear these Euphoria superfans' raw reactions as they debate, review, and analyze the episode. At the end of this discussion, each panelist will rank the episode 1 to 10, and I will average up the results to give this episode the official rating provided by the men and women on this panel. In the description box below, there are time codes to this discussion. If you like what you see, please click that like and subscribe button. Any support is greatly appreciated. Without further ado, I present to you this episode of Who Needs a Film Critic? So for weeks now, we have been anticipating Lexy's play, and finally, this episode, we get it. So the first question tonight is, did the play live up to the hype? You should each see a poll on your screen. Please click yes, it did live up to the hype, or no, it did not live up to the hype. And then we will analyze the results. 33% of the panel says yes, while 67% say no. So raise your hand if you were the 2 people that said yes. All right, Latoya and Sam. Sam, why don't you start us off?
I thought the play lived up to the hype, not so much the episode itself. So I feel like that's why I'm differentiating it. I just thought the reactions from everyone finding out that it was about them was amazing. I don't think she went about it in too crazy of a way. I think it's very obvious who these people are, but I don't think that it was like anything cruel or like done with malice.
I like how they portrayed it, especially, you know, I don't like Nate. So I love the way he felt. I was like, get him, pump that thing some more. But it was funny. I thought it was cute. I didn't like the episode, but I did think that was cute.
Latoya, what was that motion again? I just want to, capture all the glory. There we go.
A bit. He was upset. It was funny.
All right, but 4 people out of this panel, the other 4 that haven't spoken yet, said they did not like the play.
I had no clue what the play was about. There was no cohesion. It just seems like it was all fluff with an entire big Broadway budget with just these small, minuscule, scenes that really didn't have a point to it. There was no beginning. There was no end to any of these scenes. And it was just very scattered.
It was like going to a meeting, like at work, and you're like, what was the point?
Yeah, it could have been an email.
Yes, it could have been an email.
I feel like some of the shots were beautiful. It's very consistent on that part, but I just didn't really care for the play that much. Like, I thought she was going to be way more scandalous about things, and I feel like the only person that was portrayed that way was Nate. Like, I wanted to see more of all of the secrets and stuff that Lexy obviously knows about. Like, I don't know. I just felt like if she's gonna do one, do them all at that point.
I'm glad that you brought it up because perhaps the most memorable scene within the play was the last scene that we got to see, starring, as you said, my boy Ethan playing Nate. So let's take a look at that scene and then we will discuss.
You rub a smidgen of oil on my back, I can't reach my pecs, you're getting too freaking big.
shit is so fucking homophobic.
Babe, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Like,
She's your fucking sister.
No,
You know what? Pack your shit, get the fuck out of my house. I'm fucking done.
All right. Thoughts on the scene?
Can I just say I love Lexi's mom's reactions the entire time?
I love her. She is
Yes.
funny. And she knows she's a mess and she don't care. She's like,
Yeah, she loves it.
That's my
Oh
life.
yeah. Oh,
I love
Y'all see,
Rue's
that's
faces
me.
too, though. The faces Rue makes. They're so, I'm like,
oh yeah.
Yes, she is really looking like a
Yeah.
little addict.
I was
Like,
gonna say
girl.
though, it was kind of nice to see her like actually enjoying something and in a normal situation and just kind of enjoying life.
What do we think of Ethan?
All them roles that he played, he is coming for somebody's Tony Award at this point. But hopefully you got your Ethan fix.
I still want a flashback. I still want some sort of backstory, but yes.
I feel like that's gonna come in season 3 because I feel like they're not just gonna write Ethan off at this point. So he's definitely going to still be around for however they write it into the story. But definitely feel like Ethan was just like, oh, you think I'm boring? Okay, bitch, I got something for you. I'm finna play 700 people in this play and I'm finna kill every single role. So
I thought it was great just to see him have his moment. Like, this is obviously what he's passionate about. In his scenes before, he was kind of like taken down by Kat a bit, with her bold personality and her not thinking that he's strong enough. And he went out there and he has some balls. I'll say that.
But I love this scene only because I seen how mad Nate was getting. Anything that upsets him is pleasing to me. So that was my greatest moment right there. For him to be upset with his dad for, showing his sexuality and letting people know that he's for both. He loved all people and he getting upset with his dad, but people see him in that perspective. At least Lexy does.
that brings up the question. Did Nate's father with Nate?
I asked
Yeah.
the same exact question. I said to my roommate, after watching that episode and seeing that dream sequence with his dad basically laying down on top of him, you could perceive it in two ways. You could see it as he is seeing himself in his father, or he's remembering a moment in which something inappropriate happened between he and his dad. And perhaps that's the reason why that dark cloud came over him that his mom talked about.
Yeah, when he said that he felt like his oppressor left and he was just cool, after his dad left. So I think it made sense to me, but it's sad.
And that's also interesting because they've done so much work to redeem Cal. And if that ends up being a storyline, then it's like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
what am I
My
supposed
mind
to
blew.
feel?
I was like, I have no more pity for Cal. If that's what happened. That's what went down. I was like, oh my God, like.
Gross.
And now let's just go back to what we were talking about with Nate. He gets up, basically makes a scene. What do people think about that?
Everyone got up and started applauding right after he left. I don't know if that was like intentional, like with the whole school knowing this is about him and like what he's done with Maddie and stuff before, kind of getting their revenge or what. But I think it just made him very uncomfortable because he doesn't want to admit that about himself. Like, I feel like he knows deep down that's who he is, but he just will refuse to admit it.
I found it very ironic how Nate called that scene homophobic when it was anything but that it just seemed like a little projecting.
Could it be perceived as homophobic though?
Homoerotic, but not homophobic.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think there could be an argument where it's like, if you didn't know the intentions of why they're writing that scene, it could come across as like someone who isn't gay, who's writing a scene about a bunch of like gay people, and it's like the most over the top raunchy thing ever. But I agree with you. I think it was very interesting that he brought up that it was homophobic.
I would say that it would be more stereotypical than homophobic.
Even if it isn't homophobic, do we look at this scene in the play as outing him? And is that
That's
okay?
what I was gonna say. It's like he didn't have the opportunity to kind of express that about himself, and then they're saying that about him. So that's kind of
If
not right.
anything, he's outing himself from leaving, but I don't think at all that it's outing, because Lexi's interpretation of how stupid like the whole locker gym culture is. If she knew something, maybe, but she doesn't know anything.
Talk about 50 Shades of Nate. Like, what was that about? Cassie was like, you can tell me what to eat, what I can wear, who I can be friends with.
Come on, Shahana, don't kink shame.
But that's what her sister was
that's
getting
okay
at.
if you're older and you've just discovered yourself. But here she is. She doesn't know who she is. She just wants to be loved, and she's selling herself. She's selling herself for love.
She just wants to be loved. So she's proving it.
It's like a drug, right? Like when you fall in love, they say you got so much natural chemicals that burst, and you're pretty much high off of that love. And so in a way, she's an addict of love, and she's acting like an addict.
The last thing about this scene that I'd like to talk about is the ending, when Cassie is looking into the theater and it says to be continued. So that's a very different stylistic kind of look for the show. A, why do you think the show did that? And B, where do you think the next episode will pick up?
I think they might have been playing on like the whole playing situation.
Maybe. Yeah.
It just seems a little sloppy to me. If they were trying to do that whole theater aspect or movie musical aspect, like act one or intermission or some situation like that, instead of just to be continued.
Intermission would have been really cute.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As far as where it's going, I think Cassie's about to fuck that play up. I think she's about to go behind the stage, pull whatever plug she can find. I think that's what's about to go down.
It might be debatable with this panel, but within the show, the play seemed to be a success. However, there was one seat that was left vacant. His current whereabouts are unknown, but the last time we see Fez, he is about to leave for the show. So let's take a look at his last scene and then discuss.
I think you look handsome with no tie.
You think other people think that I look handsome?
I do.
How you doing, player? All right, then, y'all. I'm finna head out. Is everything good?
I need someone to interpret this scene for me right now.
It felt like a sting operation going down, but if anything happens to Fez, I'm throwing hands.
I feel like it's gonna be Ashtray though.
I feel like Ashtray's about to kill him. I don't think anything
Ashtray
gonna
about
happen
to slit
Ashtray.
a throat.
He about to cut some holes behind.
Ashtray might very well kill him, but that doesn't necessarily mean that whoever is on that phone isn't listening and nearby to like come in and intervene anyway. He's recording. He's trying to get him on tape to like admit to something. I believe about killing Mouse. So he's trying to stay as long as he can to get whatever information, and Ashtray has already caught on to it.
I'm very disappointed in Faye in this scene because I thought that she was like developing a really great friendship with them and there was some trust and respect. And I'm just really disappointed that she hasn't said anything. I mean, her actions are kind of tipping them off, but not nearly enough.
What did they do to her lips? Did she get like she's sucking on a cup before the scene?
No, that's how her lips really are.
They are really like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
saw an article recently that she's like pretty surprised at all the hate that she's getting because she's like, I don't know, everyone that I'm around, my family, no one thinks it's weird. And she's like, everyone, I'm seeing all this hate on my lips and I don't know what's going on.
Well,
Is it
they're not
naturally
actually,
like
they're
that?
not actually her
No,
lips though.
No, they're not natural lips, but like that's like she
Okay.
got the filler or whatever for him.
Oh, well, that's her friends and family. They ain't gonna tell her what.
Right?
My critique about this storyline is that it's a little unclear as to what is going on, and I don't think that they're consciously trying to make it ambiguous. I feel like it goes back to the first episode of the season in the Fez flashback where Ashtray hits the guy over the head with the hammer. Am I right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the drug dealer that was like when Rue was in Fez's house and he was like, stay your ass in the room, and she kept coming out, and then he was like, oh, she gonna have to find a way to pay for this and all that stuff. So that's Mouse.
So he was killed by Ashtray in
Mhm.
episode 1 of this season.
Maybe he was an informant for them to be looking for him like that.
Yeah, because I didn't get that part. Like, why do y'all really care about this?
Care about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's a drug dealer. Didn't think y'all care that much. But I'm excited to see what happened. I'm hoping that the baby isn't killed. I don't think they would kill him. Maybe get locked up. But I just love how he walked in like a little baby thug. I was like, boy, you've been watching some like all of them
Right?
are so in character. I was like, look at him walking. He looked like a little baby thug for real. It was so cute.
I think the part that really like got me though was when Fez asked, "Do you think other people will think I'm handsome?" I kind of melted a little bit. It was really cute.
Lexy
I
is
did too.
trap queen, and she is turning him out.
Wait. You, say it again. She's what?
His trap queen.
What is trap queen?
They weigh the objects and stuff. It's not objects.
Count the money.
The product. They count the money. Yes. You know, they look cute while helping them sell.
She would be perfect at that.
Is this a song or a rap or what?
She's
my
my
trap
and
queen.
she already know.
Here we go. 17 to 38. That's what it is.
Oh,
There you go.
now I remember. She's my trap queen. The bando.
With some hello. She's your pretty ass.
You would know this, Pete. What I'm talking about. See that?
I
Lauren.
now that she's playing it, I've definitely heard this song. Yes. Anyway, we're way off topic now. This also ended in kind of like a to be continued way. You might as well have put the to be continued right here as well.
I think he made it to the play though.
They said your friend never picked up his tickets.
I heard that wrong.
Yeah, she said he never came to pick it up.
Has that happened to anyone where there's someone that you wanted to be at something and they didn't show up?
For me, it was a math award that I got in elementary school, and we had just moved back from Saudi Arabia, so I didn't know English. I was taking English as a second language, and my teacher said that I'm going to be getting the math award, and I was so excited because I've never gotten anything. And I told my parents to come, and of course I'm like waiting. I'm like, okay, they're gonna come now, and I'm like, they stand you in line, so and I'm like, okay, they got a couple more minutes. And they never showed up. And I was just like, oh, I don't think I didn't even work hard to get awards after that, because I was like, who's gonna come watch me to get it? Like, who am I getting it for?
I was the parent. I hurt my baby feelings. I'm at all award programs because he's always getting awards. And this one time I forgot, y'all. Oh my gosh. One of my friends who went for her child, she said, Toy, where you at? Your son is up here crying. And I started crying. I said, oh my gosh, the awards program.
What was
And
the
when my
reward?
friend, he made all A's and I missed it. And that thing hurt my heart. And he was up there crying because he was looking like, they said, Toy, I took the pictures for you. I was like, it's not the same. But he was just up there looking like, where's my mom? And I wasn't there. Y'all, I cried.
Okay, before we move on to our last scene, is Fez in trouble? Will Fez survive this season?
All I'm saying, he better.
I think we never know what's going to happen. They could be trying to mislead us, but I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe there's just like a scuffle and they take Custer. Maybe Fez and Ash take Custer down and he's just, late, can't make it. And then he gets out of the situation. I don't know though. I don't know if he's getting out of it.
Nobody's died yet, right?
No one's died
And
yet.
I feel like somebody has to at this point.
Well, let it be Custer. Take Nate. I don't want to sound insensitive, but like when Betty White passed, that thing hurt my feelings. And you'd be like, no, Father, I said, take such and such, not her. We had a whole birthday to celebrate. I was even telling him to take Queen Elizabeth. Take Father, just leave Betty. What are you doing?
Right.
Queen, please forgive me because she got COVID right now. I'm sorry. Don't kill her right now. It's too late. But that's how I feel. If they take this, I'm going on the show. Like, you can have Nate. Who's going to miss him? He's already mad. Maybe he's going to walk out and try. No, put your hand down.
Where's all the
He
drama
maybe
gonna
I
happen?
can't.
Latoya, Nate is
He's gonna be mad
driving
at
all the
Nate.
drama. There's no show without Nate. He's the
Maybe his daddy will come back.
Are y'all forgetting the real reason for this show?
Oh,
Ruin her drug addiction.
so he can go. See, we don't need him no more.
All right. Well, speaking of life and death, my favorite scene of the episode revolved around Rue and her mom as they have a brutally honest conversation about addiction. Let's take a look at our last scene of the evening and then discuss.
You broke me. You want to kill yourself doing drugs? Go ahead. Mama, you fucking with me right now. No. If you want to fry every last brain cell in your head, go ahead. You'll be 18 soon and out of my house. I'm taking you off my plate. I'm going to focus on Gia. She's been in detention 3 times in the past 2 weeks. If I have to choose between losing 1 daughter or 2, I'm going to fight to save her.
I've had that kind of conversation with my mom when she started getting into recovery and whatnot, and I was still in my active addiction. She was like, do whatever you want to do, but you're not dragging me down with it. And at the time, I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. So yeah, that hit pretty close to home.
There was a line that she said that triggered the hell out of me. And not just from like direct experience, but just like culturally in Black families. That whole "you're about to be 18 and out my house" line. Like when she said that, I just cringed so hard because I fucking hate that with a passion. Because we are like one of the only cultures that lives by this "you're 18, get out my house," no plan, no setup, no nothing, to just continue all these generations of struggling. And I really hate it. But at the same time, I had to kind of check myself after I heard it, because this is a totally different situation where I would say I don't necessarily blame her for saying that, like, okay, you're about to be an adult, get the hell out of my house, because you've just been hell in my household for however many years she's been addicted. But I'm just gonna say, this is the Blackest that I ever felt her mom has been. Like that conversation was a really Black mama conversation.
That is so true. That actually happens to a lot of my friends. And just like she said, I don't want to be that parent. I want my children to know that, I'm here whenever you need me, whether you're 100 years old, if I'm still here, I'm going to help you. And my parents are actually very caring. Like if I need something right now, I'll call my mama, I'll call my daddy before I call my husband. That's sad to say, but I'd be like, Daddy, I need you. My husband could be right next to me. Daddy, where you at? And that is a stereotype that we have in our Black community. It's honestly true. I have friends who actually got put out at 18. A lot of them had to join the military. A lot of them didn't even go to college. They had to, start working early because that's really how they look at it.
And why do you think that is?
Taking all the way back to, slavery, how we had to get married young and start families because, that's just what we did. We had to start families at 4. My grandmother was married and had her first child by 13. So
wow.
Like, I get where some of them get that from, but you should want to have better for your children. But I felt Ruth's mom at the time because she just was trying to instill some tough love.
Obviously, I don't have the same, cultural upbringing that Aisha was bringing her perspective from. So I thought that was really interesting. But I thought of it as like, all right, you're going to be 18. I'm legally free of you. You go do what you want. I mentally cannot handle it. I just really cannot. I think she would love to keep her in the house if she could. I don't know if she was ever considering kicking her out of the house before her, running through the streets fiasco, but I think she is just mentally done and cannot handle it anymore. And I think she would love to keep her in the house if she could, but she just knows it's ruining Gia too.
Before we get to the review, I just want to hear your predictions. With one more episode left, what do you think we can expect? What is going to happen during the season finale? Give me one little prediction.
I don't think they're going to wrap this up. I think this is going to carry over into the next season, but I definitely need to know, where's Lori and where's Cal? Like, is Cal done? That's kind of where I'm at.
I am praying for a cat fight between Maddie and Cassie.
My heart is at Fez's home trying to figure out what's going to happen. And my little boy Ash, I feel like something might happen to him, and I really don't want that to happen.
We've been sleeping on this suitcase situation that's been going on, so I'm excited for Lori or someone to pop back up in Rue's life and cause some shit.
Rue, you've been lying to me again.
You have the best impression of her, because I swear I thought you pulled audio into this.
All right, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to review. Each of you has sent me your ratings for this episode 1 to 10. 1 meaning you hated it, and 10 meaning you absolutely loved it. I've averaged all the numbers together, and it is time for me to reveal the results. Tonight, the panel has rated this episode as a 4.6.
I'd give it a 5. Again, I think I was just trying to keep up with trying to interpret the play. Nothing really major happened.
I was pretty generous with my rating. I gave it an 8. I really liked how it intertwined all the storylines. I liked seeing Lexy's perspective of everything. I mean, the reactions in the audience were amazing. Probably Lexy's mom bumped it up a few points for me.
I did 5 because it was all right. I mean, the whole season was hyped up about this play, right? It was like every episode we're like, oh my God, can't wait to see what dirt we're gonna get, what something juicy, some kind of big, huge drama, but they held it off. I mean, I guess they're waiting for the finale. I guess you got to drop really low before you get the high. So I feel like they dropped it just so that the finale is, blown out of the water and we can see that compared to the last episode right next to it.
I hated it, so I had to give it a 1. Like, I could have done without that episode. It's literally the worst episode I've ever watched of Euphoria. I was very underwhelmed, and by the end of it with the I need a hero thing, I was just like, all right, this is just getting fucking ridiculous. Like, I get what she was trying to do, but I was like, there's way more important things to talk about if this is all that we're gonna get in this play. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. We need to tie loose ends at this point because we're running out of time.
Couldn't agree more. I thought this episode was incredibly boring. And so I said the last episode was the worst of the show. And now I put this episode as the worst of the show. So I hope that this is not a trend, because I'm very much a fan of Euphoria and I'm expecting great things for the finale. But I've now been kind of disappointed 2 weeks in a row. So I feel like I'm destined to be disappointed by the finale. All right. That concludes today's discussion on season 2, episode 7 of Euphoria. Come back next week to hear what some of these panelists and more have to say about episode 8, the finale of season 2 of Euphoria. Crazy that it's already here. I would like to thank the panelists for giving me their time tonight, and to the viewers watching at home. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are also on the podcast app, so type "Who Needs a Film Critic" to get all the episodes downloaded straight to your phone. That's all for now. Good night, everyone.